Despite 6 years of military action by NATO forces in the country, 2007 has been the deadliest in Afghanistan since the fall of the Taliban. Well, the Taliban itself has carried out 130 suicide bombings so far this year, although it denies any involvement in Tuesday's attacks. Well, the number of civilians killed in Afghanistan since January the 1st now stands at 892, almost 900. That is a combined death toll for civilians killed by both the Taliban and NATO-led forces. Well, the total for the whole of 2006 was 929. Those figures supplied by the group Human Rights Watch. So, speaking purely in terms of civilian deaths, the situation in Afghanistan appears to be getting worse. Emmanuel Reinert is Executive Director of the Senlis Council. It's an international policy think tank which focuses on foreign policy and security in Afghanistan. His members and colleagues there on the ground all the time. Things are getting worse, not better, aren't they?
Absolutely. I mean, you use this expression, the fall of the Taliban, and I don't think it's accurate anymore. I mean, they are in the country and have now a very firm grip on at least the whole south.
Let's talk about what's going on the ground, though, because, of course, when we just stacked those numbers there effectively, this isn't just as a result of Taliban action, is it? It's as a result of NATO forces as well. We've got to remember that.
Absolutely. It's a mix, and I think it's a good thing to talk about those two, civilian deaths as a whole, because in the eyes of the local population, there's not a big difference between suicide bombings and NATO bombings, which will touch civilians.
This last attack, particularly distressing, given that there were so many school children involved. I mean, unfortunately, these sort of numbers just rarely make the headlines these days, because this is a country that it's almost assumed there will be, death and violence on the ground. For those of your members, your colleagues who are working, what is the situation? How are people coping?
People are absolutely horrified by what happened this week. Our colleagues are really deeply touched by what happened and to the scale of this. But I think even more, they are extremely preoccupied by the fact that it's touching the north of the country, and that's really a new fact.
Isn't it?
This is absolutely new, because we all know that in the south it's been a very difficult situation, but that's pretty new, and that's really very disrupting in the context of the Hearts and Minds campaign, because people are starting really to think that maybe the Taliban will get in Kabul sooner than later. Why
are things changing, do you think, in the north?
Well, I think that basically it's because of the strengths that the Taliban are gaining day after day, month after month. And as you know, we've been sending warning on the return of the Taliban for now over 2 years, and stressing the urgency of the situation and the urgency of the overhaul of the policy. But because they are gaining now very important support in the south, they are more comfortable to go north, and to, in their propaganda right now, they say that they will win Kabul within the next 2 years.
How does this affect people's lives?
Well, this is, first of all, this is making, of course, the life of everyday Afghan extremely difficult. This has led to a major poverty crisis, especially in the south of the country, because there is no more aid, no more development, which is now impossible due to the security situation. And of course, that benefits greatly to the Taliban, because the south has turned into a big recruitment camp for them. Of course, there's thousands of young males without jobs, without money. Easy for them to ask them to join. So you see, it's kind of a vicious circle between more poverty leads to more support to the insurgency, more support to the insurgency lead to more insecurity. We have to find a way to break that vicious circle, for sure.
We're going to leave it there, but we thank you very much indeed for your thoughts. The picture in Afghanistan, according to Senlis today. And for more details on this, and indeed all the other stories that we're covering, go to cnn.com/international. It's cnn.com/international. Now to Italy.